Alright, what's up guys? So this actually is going to be a video on how to obtain and get more followers on TikTok, but for the most part, a lot of these ideals can be used in other platforms in order to obtain a wider audience as well. So this is essentially how I got my beginning for getting my first 100,000 followers on TikTok. The initial growth period for me was kind of weird because I was never really trying to get videos to go viral or to get any followers. I was just posting for fun. TikTok was a fun platform for me. I would just pop on every day, and on occasion I would just put up a random video. I had one semi-viral video go off on Christmas Day about the Ring doorbell. The whole idea behind that was I took it right off of Snapchat and I just put it on because why not? And it was kind of weird how I got so popular at first because I had no followers whatsoever. I think I had like 12, and it was just people I knew from work. But I had put on my front door. I was talking about how I didn't have a drill to put it into the wall. So I went to go attach my Ring doorbell to the small wood paneling around my door frame with 2 screws and a piece of wood. But like I was in the middle of Baltimore and the thing was like hanging off from the side, and like you could just rip that thing off and just steal it at any point. So I'm like, great, this thing's gonna be stolen by tomorrow. Crap. And then I got like 800,000 views in like a couple of days. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then I didn't have any other video hit like more than about 100 views for about a month or so. And then I made one bar video of me just pouring like into like a shot glass. And it was the whole idea behind it was like a girl was like, "Oh, put some more," and I just kept on pouring more and just kind of freaking out, whatever. And I would get every some small videos over here and there of like getting attraction, but I was never really trying to get an audience. And then for a while I was sitting there wanting to make another Ring doorbell video, so I did and hit like 2 million views, which was awesome. But I can't just keep on making videos about a Ring doorbell about it getting stolen. It's gonna get old after a while. But I'm like, you know what? I know a lot about bartending, so maybe I could post like some videos about bartending. Maybe I can grasp some kind of audience from that. So I had an idea for a while of just doing like a top 5 series kind of thing of like stuff that's happening within the bar. Such as like maybe drinks or situations or bar stories or a fight that might have happened or just unreal situations. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start planning all this stuff out. And I had told myself I was going to post in this one day. The day was going to be like March 6th, but I was drinking out the night before, and I was aggressively hungover. I woke up, and my head was pounding. I couldn't think straight, but I'm like, I had told myself I was going to post this video. I'm going to do it. But I could not, for the life of me, decide what order to put these 5 things into. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Instead of making 5, like top 5, I'm going to just say, I'm going to make it 5 things. I'm going to put them in a random order. But I'm like, you know what? No, let's not do completely random. I wanted to do like the first one to be like the funniest. The first one is like kind of like a kind of whatever kind of thing, kind of sit there and try to grasp your attention, and the end be left on like a cliffhanger. And the whole idea was at the very end, I wanted you to rewatch the video, but it had to be just like kind of like a what or a W2F kind of question to make you want to come back and rewatch it. Because I knew rewatching a video had a lot of pull within the algorithm to having it being spread to a wider audience. But before I posted that, I was like, you know what? I want to check out this pro account thing that TikTok offers. It's a free option, and essentially what it does is before you start like posting your next video, it asks you to identify what your target audience is. By doing this, it pushes your content to more people who are viewing that type of material. And there's a lot of different options on there, like business, influencer, dancing, whatever it might be. And there's one section for entertainment. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to inform my potential audience on stuff relating to the bar. But I'm like, you know what? I'm also trying to do it in a comical kind of fashion because no one just wants to sit there and be taught a lesson. Like they'd go on National Geographic for that, or like Curiosity Stream or whatever. I'm like, all right, I don't want to quite do that. I'm like, I want to be like kind of sort of funny with it too. Like, not that I'm not that funny, but whatever. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to go into entertainment. And I posted this video of 5 things. It was my first video I posted, and it got like 20,000 views, which is actually pretty cool because, I had videos pop off from beforehand, but I'm like, no, there might be something here. So I posted a video again the next day and got about the same amount of views. I'm like, all right, so there's consistency here. And I started to get some followers, or people were like, oh, this could be like a great new thing. You should keep up with that. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did that a few more times, and I eventually just barely got to 1,000 followers like a couple days later. And I went live. Like 5 or 6 people joined. It was pretty cool. Sitting there talking to them. The first person to join was this guy named One Day. I ended up following him because he was my first follower. Who started joining all my followers. I'm like, this is pretty cool. And I started doing more and more videos every single day. And within about a week or so, I had a couple videos hit 1 million. I'm like, this is awesome. And people are already starting to recognize me at the bar. They're like, dude, I love your series on TikTok. I'm like, this is great. Like, I didn't think this was going to happen at all. But what I accidentally started to realize is that people want to see consistency in a content provider. So I sat myself down one day and I'm like, all right, what kind of stuff can I do in order to grasp an audience? And this is what I kind of got from it. You have to identify a niche market that somebody else hasn't quite been able to obtain yet. Because there are a lot of bartenders on the TikTok platform. I mean, there's like, Paradise Bartender, who does an amazing job making drinks. Her showmanship is fantastic. She can tell you exactly what goes in the drink, the ounces of every pour, what liquor she's using, why she's using it, what's going to taste like. It's as if you're right there. And that's what she does. I would not be able to sit there and essentially take her audience away from her. One, to be messed up. Two, she's already mastered it. Like, why would I try to be second in line? No one wants to be second. I want to be first. And then there's people out there like Cointrix. Cointrix does an amazing flair. He's able to sit there and pop the bottle around, do little quick bumps. I'm not that good at that. But he's able to tell a story on top of it of stuff or situations that happen to him at the bar. But I'm like, all right, what can I do? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start talking about the behind-the-scene kind of things when it comes to the bar, like how a bartender might think, like what we think of a customer when they come in, why we do the things we do from a universal standpoint. And I try not to be too biased, but throw a little bit of bias in there just for comical purposes. And I'm like, all right, well, this might be something I can do, this 5 things thing. So every time I made a video, I did 5 things. I kept, so I would hold the camera up with my right hand because it would be a mirror. So everything would be on this left side over here. I'm going to keep the same color scheme. Always say 5 things. Keep relatively consistent hashtags. And keep it like a part 1, part 2. That way there's always something more to expect. Because you want your followers to sit there and think that there's always more to come. A reason to want to come back and want to follow you. So I always try to keep the same angle. And I'm like, all right, well, this analytics thing I signed up for, like the switching to a pro account, what can it offer me? I found out that it shows you your female to male ratio as far as followers. So I'm like, all right, well, majority of my followers were female. They were back then, and they weren't, or they still are now. So obviously I need to kind of, aim my content towards them. So I want to sit there and grasp their attention and not want to push them away at the same time. But I also want to sit there and build on my male attention as well. So I wanted to sit there and try to provide content for both. And I'm like, all right, well, about 70, 80% or so of my followers were from the United States. It makes sense. I'm American. I've been here my entire life. Born and raised. But I'm like, like 2% were from like Ireland. 2% were from, was it somewhere in the Central America? I can't remember. And there was like another 4% were from Australia. I'm like, this is kind of weird to me. But I thought about it for a second. I'm like, why would somebody want to watch content of stuff that they see every day? So a lot of my friends followed me from around this area, yes, but not too many people from like the Baltimore-based area, because they've seen that, they've been that, they've been a part of that environment. But what people want to know is the kind of stuff that they don't see every day. Which is why we like to watch things that happen internationally a lot. It's like, oh my God, there's riots in the street of Spain. We go out of our way to obtain information that we can't find readily available, that we don't see on a daily basis. So a lot of these people from overseas are watching my content because it's giving them a taste of what the American bar life and structure is like. And I'm like, oh my God, so I should start talking about more things that they don't see on a daily basis, such as the tipping culture, or how we like to sit there and shotgun beers on top of the bar, or how like it's a college bar kind of scene, and like there's so many different things that they're not used to, but they've heard about. They might have not been directly influenced by it, but they're aware of it. So I'm like, there's so much stuff going on, and I realized that a lot of time, or almost all my videos, they started to gain traction right around 11 o'clock in the morning, is when my viewers started to watch my videos. So I was like, if I post by around this time period, they know to expect my video to be on their For You page, and for it to start coming across right around to about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If it's not essentially picking up traction by then, I wasn't really going to get much of a view, or like a viewer rating. But I got the most views when I was asleep. And I thought, I'm like, why is that? I'm like, you know what? One of the things I like to do is right before I go to bed is I like to check my social media. It's the last thing I do before I go to bed. Pop through TikTok, whatever, and kind of pass out while doing it. Well, apparently I'm not the only one that likes to do that. Most of the time, if my video ends up going viral, it happens overnight, which happens to a lot of other people as well. because it's the last thing people do right before they go to sleep is they look through their phones. I would get a lot of views I'd wake up to. But then I'm like, all right, what more can I do? And this is a theory I have. I should look more into it, but this is the way I think of this. Pretend you have like a friend who you grew up with who started a band, and you've always followed them because you guys are friends, right? But the more that they incorporate you into their life, such as, going backstage, inviting you out to their events, or, including you on their page or taking pictures with them, you would feel almost more inclined to do more things with them because they're directly involving you, correct? So one of the things I like to do is I respond to every single comment in DM, regardless of how positive, negative, or neutral that comment might be. So if someone comes at me with like oh, you should just want to do your job, or maybe you should pick a new job, I'm like, oh man, you're adorable. I say that for a few different reasons. One, because my followers know to expect it, because it's funny. Because if a guy wants to sit there, or a guy or a girl wants to sit there and attack me verbally, obviously they have nothing better to do. But guess what? I'm still getting traction. They're still viewing my video. So even if they're saying something negative, I'm still getting their attention. So I'm still benefiting from it. And I'm going to comment on top of that, and I'm going to give them recognition saying that, hey, you might not like me, but guess what? I appreciate the fact that you still watch my video. And then from the positive aspect, there are people that are constantly coming back and forth to watch all my stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. I want to make sure they know that I appreciate them. And a lot of these followers join my lives every day. And it's amazing that, because a lot of these people on my lives will watch them almost every single day. And I try to do it almost at noon every single day so they know to expect it. And they come in, they ask a lot of the same questions, and they're remembering stuff about me, which is amazing. Like where I went to school, what I did in school, where I went to college, like how old I am, the kind of beers I like to drink, the kind of drinks I like to make, the things I can do, the things I can't do. I mean, every once in a while they'll ask a question that's really far out there, but I'll give them an answer for it, and they remember. And then other people will sit there and comment on my videos later or in the live about questions I've already been asked before, and before I even have the chance to answer, a lot of my like OG followers will sit there and respond for me. It's amazing because I have a following now. They're almost like the world's best groupies. It's amazing. And so I guess the point I'm trying to get to with all this is the more you directly involve yourself with your content, the more of a niche market you're able to find based on something that you're passionate about. For myself, like I love bartending. Why? Because I grew up as a massive introvert. The idea of having a conversation with somebody terrified me. I absolutely hated it. I would shake with anxiety and get nightmares about having a conversation with somebody for the first time. Talking to a girl, oh my God, like I would have done anything at one point to not have to do that. And it still terrifies me to this day. But guess what? It only gets easier. It's never been easy, but it only ever gets easier. So I like to sit there and provide information for other people that help them to just better feel comfortable in situations. Like there are a lot of times I see people come to the bar that I can tell they're nervous. That I have very similar characteristics with them. So I try to talk about things with them that would make them feel more comfortable. And once they feel more comfortable, they open up a lot more. You can see like the light kind of coming out in their eyes, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. And I'm able to sit there and grasp that kind of attention from this audience that I'm getting through TikTok, regardless if I'm banned or not, which I hopefully can get my account back soon. But the more I did stuff, the more I incorporated my personal life with my content, the more the two became kind of one. And not even so much in a bad way. I was able to talk to people on TikTok that I never thought I would talk to before. I was able to get a wider audience I never thought I would have before. And I guess my passion kind of leaks into my content, and people know that, and they're more willing to invest themselves in it as well. So if there's any real piece of advice I can give to sit there and branching out and really getting a wider audience, is be passionate with whatever you do on TikTok, on YouTube. And the more effort you show, the more you're willing to put forward, the more you're willing to put into anything at all within your life, the more you're going to get out of it. If you give a C effort, you're going to get a C response in return, if not worse. But if you go in confident, even if you're like faking your confidence, like this whole fake it till you make it thing, I used to believe that was BS. But a good friend of mine, who we're not that good friends anymore, I still need to work on that friendship, taught me that even if you have to lie to yourself to get that extra boost of confidence, you're going to end up benefiting way more in the process. Like, there's always more to take. There's always more to learn from every situation. And I'm still learning more and more every day with this. Like, I'm working on building a new account right now. I have my side accounts as well. And regardless of how much, like negative, comments and reactions I get from my friends in real life, I know that it's something I enjoy. So I don't want that negative mindset to sit there and deter me from doing something I enjoy doing. Why? Because I want to be happy. But I also know that if I'm getting negative comments in return, that there's haters out there. One of the things that Cat Williams talks about, and he's a hilarious comedian, but he speaks the truth. It's this. If you have 9 haters right now, find a way to get more, because when you're being hate on, when people are going out of their way to tell you that you're doing a bad job, guess what? That means you're doing it right. And the more negative comments you get, the more people are going out of their way to try to bring you down. That just means you're succeeding more than they are. So last but not least, I just want to say that just be passionate with whatever you do. Keep on doing the things that make you smile, and I guarantee your content's going to be pushed out to a wider audience. I promise you that. And you know what? Pop a comment down here. Follow me on TikTok on Call Me Cookum. Call_me_cookum until I get my real account back, which is just Cookum. And I'll be glad to talk to you. You can find me on Instagram, on here, or like whatever. Like, I'll be glad to help you out whichever way I can as well. I mean, we're all here for each other, right? So guys, I just want to say thank you so much for this video and for following me, and try to help me get my account back on TikTok, because I put a lot of effort into that, and it just sucks that I had to lose it the way I did. But everything happens for a reason. So with that being said, guys, have a great day, y'all.